I'm Augustus. I am traveling the United States to listen to Americans I meet and to tell them about my candidacy for President of the United States in 2028. I'm here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm standing at the only state house in America where they decided one house of government was better than two. That kind of Nebraska common sense is exactly what I'm here to learn from, a place that values getting the job done over partisan bickering, right here in the heart of the country. This is the 30th capital of my 50 plus 1 capitals tour. My plan seems obvious and necessary to me, but for other presidential candidates, it could be considered unnecessary and maybe even a waste of time. The plan is to visit every capital in this country over the course of about 60 days, not to give motivational speeches, but to listen. I'm here to hear about the rising input costs and market volatility that's hitting our families hard this year, the rising cost of seed and fertilizer that makes breaking even feel like a victory, and the small business owners on main streets from Scottsbluff to Omaha who are wondering if the next generation will be able to afford to stay. Nebraska is often called the Cornhusker State. It's a title of grit and tradition. But I prefer the way people here actually live. Nebraska's good life isn't something you find in a brochure. It's the quiet strength of a people who don't need a thank you for doing the right thing. It's the farmer who sees a storm coming and finishes his neighbor's harvest before his own. It's the community that shows up with a tractor and a chain when the mud gets too deep, no questions asked. But lately, that social contract is being frayed by a brand of politics that treats Nebraska like a flyover pit stop for a photo op. While the big shots are busy shouting for the cameras, Nebraskans are quietly keeping the world fed, from the biotech and animal health labs here in Lincoln to the corn and soybean rows that fuel our economy. They offer us noise, you offer the nation its substance. I'm standing here at the Nebraska State Capitol. It's the Tower of the Plains with a gold-tiled dome topped by the Sower. It's a symbol of prosperity, but the real strength of the state isn't in the architecture or the Indiana limestone exterior. It's in the foundation, literally. This building houses the only unicameral legislature in the country, a testament to a state that values efficiency and common sense over political grandstanding. It's a system designed to actually get things done for the people, rather than getting stuck in the gears of party labels. A tower that heavy only stays up if the weight is distributed evenly. Right now, the weight of this country is being shoved onto the shoulders of the working class and the independent rancher. And the people at the top are wondering why the foundation is starting to crack. We've all heard the speeches about the good life, but for the rancher watching their local hospital shift to emergency-only care, that life is getting harder to hold on to. I'm not here to tell you everything is fine because the sky is blue. I'm here because I know that breaking even isn't a business plan, it's a slow leak. To lead Nebraska, you have to be able to look a producer in the eye and admit that when the foundation of the rural economy cracks, the whole state feels the shake. To be the leader of the whole country, you actually have to know the whole country. You have to marvel at the Great Lakes, admire the views along the Pacific Coast Highway, cross the Platte River, which carves through the heart of the state, and visit the beautiful Smoky Mountains. You cannot lead a people you do not know, and you cannot know the people from inside a high-flying jet, a speeding motorcade, or a gilded office in D.C. Having lived in 7 states and visited all 50 at least once before, I think I have a glimmer of understanding of who we the people of the United States are. But you can never stop learning. That's why I'm visiting each state again, and why I will continue to do so both during my campaign and during my time in office. Now you might be thinking, who is this guy? As I said, I'm Augustus. I was born in New York State 65 years ago. Like you, I've spent much of my life working. I've seen presidents come and go, and industries rise and fall. And I've watched as the people who keep this nation functioning, the nurses in our clinics, the crews maintaining I-80, and the staff at your local grocery store are treated like cattle, not human beings. You may be asking yourself, is he qualified? The Constitution says I am. You need to decide for yourself what qualified means to you. To me, for instance, being qualified means working as hard as I can to help the most people possible. Think about the people who meet in this capital or in Washington, D.C. How many of them are qualified in your eyes? How many of them are working to make your utility bills manageable or your fuel prices affordable? It seems to me that many representatives have forgotten the primary requirement of their jobs, remembering who they represent. They shouldn't represent the lobbyists. They shouldn't represent their party, and they definitely should not represent the ultra-rich. Your representatives and the President of the United States should represent you, period. I stand for the people, not for corporations that treat employees like disposable parts. not for the rich and ultra-rich who treat the law as a suggestion, and not for the special interests who think their way is the only way. I believe in a land of freedom and opportunity, not a land where out-of-state investors push families out of the communities they've built over generations. Why consider an unaffiliated, unconventional candidate like me? Maybe because you're exhausted. You're sick of having to choose between generic candidate A and generic candidate B, neither of whom has had to decide between a grocery bill and a mortgage payment. While a vote for a candidate who isn't a member of one of the two major parties can be scary, isn't it scarier to have to choose between bad and worse? Choose to vote for someone who will actually work to make your lives better. Vote from compassion, not fear. The motto of Nebraska is equality before the law. It's a powerful promise of a people who value their independence, but lately it feels like that equality is only accessible to those at the top, while the rights of the average worker are being eroded by rising costs and falling support. It's time to ensure that the promise of this state reaches the people working two jobs just to put food on the table and a roof over their heads. I'm headed to Topeka, Kansas next. I have 20 capitals and thousands of miles to go. If you see me in your state, don't just take a picture, come over and say hello. Tell me what's keeping you up at night. Tell me what you want for your children. I'm Augustus, and I'm here to listen. I'll see you in a state where you live. Oh, no, that's not going to stop. I have my microphone on, so the sound's probably not going to be all that great, but I am doing a wander around the state capitol here in Lincoln, Nebraska. You know, it's funny, I don't remember this capitol much at all. I'm not even sure where it was on the tour in 2002, but anyway, here we are.